What then is time? If no one asks me, I know. If I wish to explain it to one who asks, I know not. You wake up from a long, tedious, dreamless night. An unbearable migraine, like a hammer knocking you senseless. A sort of palpitating stupor numbs you to the bone. The morning air doesn't agree with you, and you give some thought to perhaps seeing a doctor. You stagger to the bathroom and open the medicine cabinet. You reach for it, the morphine prescription they gave you in the aftermath of the car accident. You had never really considered taking any of the pills, preferring to tough it out. But the migraine this morning is so intense, you have a hard time staying focused. So much murkiness everywhere. You swallow 2 tablets, aided by a large glass of water. Outside, the brightness is hard to endure. A blazing sun saturates the landscape, and the snow is gone. Unable to bear the glare while kneading towards the curtains, you plunge the house into semi-darkness by closing them. Sarah's letter is there on the table. I don't think Jeff is guilty. How can Sarah say such a thing? The evidence is clear. He ended up murdering his wife. He's doing time for it. She's probably in denial. She won't be vigilant then. It's already noon, and you vaguely remember falling asleep around 10 p.m., 14 hours of just lying there, leaving you in a daze. The doorbell rings, and the shrill of the sound hurts your ears.
Good morning, my friend. How's your head doing?
Not great, actually. I have a bad headache. You look terrible, like you just rose from the dead. You should consider seeing a medic, my friend. You took a nasty fall. You look like a steak we just put on the grill, tender and raw. Are you sure you're in good enough shape to visit with Jeff? Affirmative. Don't worry, I have pain meds. You look like shit. Too bad those pain meds can't improve your looks. Well, I guess we're stuck with you. Anyway, I've got some good news for you. I found the problem with your gadget, just a small weld that needed fixing. Now the light comes on, and I hear a bit of static sizzling. I've seen some weird fads in my time, but bloody hell, you fucking take the cake. Will you finally tell me what the hell is going on? It's for my book. I'm writing a book about Sarah's story. It's that simple. I can't say more on the subject at this point. I think this talkie, well, in a manner of speaking, is a piece of the puzzle. A piece of the puzzle? It sounds a little strange, neighbor. Are you a novelist or a cop? Since when do writers collect evidence? I'm doing some investigative work. It's all part of the process. Goodness gracious. You're some piece of work, Jacob. Next time, just tell me it's none of my business. I'd rather that than be taken for an idiot. Whether this talkie works or not, it won't give you any more clues than my morning crap. Need I remind you that I've been sheriff my entire life? I'll explain everything to you later. Yeah, you know, you're pissing me off big time. Anyway, I'll come bring you your precious when I pass by later this evening. And say hello to that vermin Jeff. I have a front row seat watching him burn. Tell him that for me. And please, my friend, do something about your fucking appearance. You look like the Walking Dead. Scott tips his hat and makes an about face, grinning. Tonight, if all goes well, you'll be able to talk to Sarah. The headache doesn't subside, but you gradually find solace between the mix of fatigue and pain. Medication. It's like a warm blanket on a frigid evening, sheltering you from the cold. But as your blood pressure begins to rise, your aching temples mimic the beat of your heart, sounding like a pair of tom-toms. You dress and make coffee and drive to Ethan Moore, Beddington Federal Prison. On the way there, squinting behind your sunglasses, it seems as though the sun is brighter than usual. It's bright, far too bright. Your thoughts become harder to control, your mind drifting at times, becoming an empty, desolate void. You arrive at Ethan Moore Prison at exactly 1:30 p.m. LF, it weren't for the watchtowers and the huge barbed wire fences, Beddington Prison might have been mistaken for a university or a general hospital. The brownish, solid brick building is imposing and anonymous. After passing through the visitor's reception desk and metal detectors, you're led down a bleak, narrow corridor. Neon lights project a menacing sterility. You enter a large, elongated room. It's divided by a glass wall, glass as thick as a door. Dozens of small cubicles separate the passageway. The security guard sizes you up suspiciously. You're not sure if it's your pale complexion or your ridiculous head bandage causing the undue scrutiny, but it seems to have triggered the guard's misgivings. T's Cubicle 6. You have 20 minutes, not a second more. Making your way towards the designated area, right then, the morphine kicks in, and it takes every ounce of your energy to get there in a straight line. The pain hasn't subsided, damn it! Behind the window, an angry-looking man stares at you intently. His unkempt hair and steel blue eyes set the tone. It's going to be frigid. He's holding the phone in his hand and, with a gesture, invites you to take the other handset.
Who are you? What the fuck happened to you?
It's okay, don't worry about me. I'm not worried about you, asshole. Yesterday, I'm told there's a person interested in my story, a writer, and today I see a clown, an idiot disguised like a mummy wearing sunglasses.
You came trick-or-treating. Sorry, but I have no sweets.
I'm sorry for my appearance. I hurt my head the other day. But that's besides the point. Truth is, I just want to ask you some questions. Can you help me? Help you? Aren't you here to help me? In less than a week, they'll put me down like a dog. I mean, even my lawyer wants nothing to do with me. That's why I accepted the interview. I thought you could possibly do something about it. Maybe pull some strings. You know, get me a stay of execution?
I'm fucking innocent. I did nothing.
A burst of terror cuts across his daunting eyes. You had seen it before, during a visit to your uncle's slaughterhouse. It was there in the eyes of the cattle on the gangplank, in their demeanor. They knew it was coming, just like Jeff. The dread of it, the certainty of death. I am a writer, not a lawyer. So what the hell are you doing here? What is it you want from me? I'm writing a book about Sarah Williams, and I'd like to have a conversation with you about her murder. Sarah? But what's the connection? Is this a joke? Listen, I have nothing to do with her death, and I don't know who killed her. What's all this about? You didn't kill her? Tell me what happened then. Why would I do that? Will be maggot food in a few days? Who cares about your shitty book project? Do May a favor, won't you? Drop dead, Buttle. Goodbye, Mr. Boogeyman. Wait, please! Look, I understand where you're coming from, the rage and the anger, but what about telling your side of the story? If you're innocent, tell me what happened." "What story? There's nothing to tell." Jeff lets out a coarse, empty laugh, defiance gleaming from his eyes. "Well, there you go. I killed her. Are you happy now? I invited her to the little bridge and gave her what she deserved. Bam! Right in the heart. Does that please you now? It's not the truth, but no one gives a damn about the truth, right? Oh, and about my wife, it's even better, even juicier." I shoved the rifle down her throat and decided to repaint the ceiling with her brains. Bam! It'll be a bestseller, damn it! The Pulitzer Prize. Have you thought of the title? How about Fatal Wedding? Or no, wait, even better, The Deadly Seducer. Jeff lets out a bitter, almost deranged laugh before his expression turns serious once more. "The truth is, I learned about Sarah's murder at the same time as everyone else. Everything I can tell you, you already know. She was killed with a single bullet to the heart, and the gun was never found. No, the gun was never found. But I can tell you this much, it was premeditated. Sarah went to that bridge that night for a reason. There's got to be a reason why she went there. Maybe she had a date with someone." "All I know it that it wasn't a date with me, that's for sure. Shit."
I loved her, Sarah. You understand? I loved her. I know I'm the perfect culprit, but sorry about your little story. You got the wrong guy.
I don't suppose the truth will make any difference. You need your story, right? A big fat juice headline. The guy who brutally eliminates 2 of his lovers. Yup, a New York Times bestseller. I can see it now. I just want to know the truth. What truth? What the fuck are you looking for? I didn't kill anyone. So it's simply coincidence that your 2 lovers were murdered by an unknown killer? Is that it? The atmosphere takes a turn for the worst, the mood breaking apart like shattered glass. Jeff's face slowly softens as the tears come, and the years of hard living allow for a moment of introspection. I don't want to die, damn it, Dot, it's not me. I didn't do anything. I don't want to die. His voice trembles and transforms the otherwise hardened prisoner into a childlike figure, at least for the moment, as though expecting to find a monster under his bed, his eyes wide open. He wipes his nose as if to give you the finger. Jeff's unease is palpable as he struggles to collect himself. I don't know what to tell you. It's like won a lottery ticket from hell, a superb, custom-made pine overcoat for the main prize. I didn't kill Sarah. That's the only thing I'm sure of. Otherwise, it's not my job to conduct a fucking police investigation. And you have no idea who the killer is? Not even a hint? Actually, I do, yes. Tell me. I loved her, you know. I really loved her. Sarah was an awesome person and pretty as a peach. My friends were all jealous of our relationship. They didn't understand what she could see in me. To be frank, neither did I. Was a failure back then, just like today. But she liked me, who knows why. Unfortunately, she wasn't lucky in life. She was really depressed towards the end, cloistered most of the time, keeping to herself. Listen to me. I never could have killed her. Never in a million years. As far as I'm concerned, there's no doubt who the real killer is. It's obvious to me. Sarah's true murderer is her freakish brother Kevin. The guy's clinically insane. Her brother? Precisely. But they never found the needed evidence to be able to convict him. And by then, my testimony was all but a joke. I had no credibility whatsoever. They wouldn't even listen to me or believe what I had to say. Do you have any proof? If I had proof, don't you think I would have used it? Yes, one have proof, and I saved it precisely for you. Are you totally stupid or something? No, I don't have any proof, but what I do have is this: a fucking head start on all these incompetent investigators. That is to say, I know I'm not the murderer, the one who killed her, and I'm the only one who knows that for sure. These fucking investigators think her murderer is already behind bars. They're wrong. Okay, let's say you're telling the truth. Fine, you're not the murderer. I'll bite. But why Kevin? The murder weapon, my dear Watson. You're aware that Sarah was murdered by a Nazi Luger, right? A Luger Parabellum, to be exact. A weapon that hasn't been in production for almost a century. You typically see them in World War II movies, carried by Germans as sidearms. She was killed by a 7.65mm caliber bullet, which is a unique caliber for this particular firearm. Personally, I've seen this weapon before, and it wasn't during a movie. And what's the connection as it relates to Kevin? I'm getting there. Bear with me just a little longer. Before becoming my girlfriend, way before that, Sarah and were childhood friends. You know, birthday parties, neighborhood get-togethers, fun in the park, things like that. It was her 10th birthday party, and Sarah's parents had organized a barbecue and invited the locals for a typical corn roast. There were dozens in attendance, and during the day, at some point, we played a game of hide and seek. It was Sarah's turn to count, and I went to hide in her parents' wardrobe. I found myself curled up in the back of a closet, motionless in the dark. I even got the shakes. You know, I was a kid. Darkness can be a scary thing when you're a 10-year-old, especially when you're far from home. Down in the kitchen, an adult dropped a plate, and the noise startled me. I ended up hitting my head, the jolt causing a shelf to come loose, and a box fell, hitting the ground. And that's when I saw it, this old shoebox. It was there on the floor, and in the box, to my utter surprise, I saw the gun. It was a Luger, I'm sure of it. Before long, I immediately put everything back in its place and emerged from my hideout. But I never forgot the pistol. Weapons leave a lasting mark when you're a kid. Are you sure that's what you saw? I'd stake my life on it, 100%. I've told this story to those stupid police officers over and over, but nothing doing. They just didn't believe me. They thought I was mistaken. They claimed that a child could never have recognized a Luger. They argued that if the pistol did exist, it would confirm my guilt, because I'd be the sole person aware of this fucking gun's existence. Stupid morons. Think for a second, why would I give them the murder weapon? It doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, there's no LQ test when entering the police academy. Imbeciles. And so they never suspected Kevin? Yes, of course, they suspected Kevin. They even interrogated him. But he had an airtight alibi, a small little detail that changed everything. A beautiful, ironclad fucking alibi. What was it? Nothing less than Scott Kellerman, the village sheriff. Scott swore he saw Kevin that night. According to his testimony, Scott spent the night on his balcony and Kevin on his porch swing, rocking back and forth. So why suspect him? Your innocence doesn't automatically mean it was Kevin's crime? Really? Don't you see the gun is the missing link? Lum perhaps the sole person who saw it as a kid, and later on that bastard sheriff sided with Kevin. The sheriff hates me. It's as simple as that. In fact, he hates my guts. He thinks I'm guilty, that I deserve to burn, regardless of the evidence. So you know what? He gave Kevin a false alibi. He basically lied. That senile old bastard wants me out of the way. It seems a little far-fetched. It seems a little far-fetched. It seems a little far-fetched. Worse than that. I was seen during the day by Mrs. Carroll, a neighbor of ours, while having an argument with Sarah. She was crying hard. She said it was over. And when she turned to leave, I grabbed her by the arm. Nothing violent, maybe a little rough, but it was involuntary. I just didn't want her to leave like that. That whore, Mrs. Carroll, told the cops that I grabbed her brazenly by the arm, so it didn't look good. In terms of Sarah, I was really busted up on the inside. I really thought we still had a chance. But before long, it dawned on me that it was really over. that when she said goodbye, she meant it, and that I'd never see her again. I spent the night languishing alone in my room. No need to draw you a picture. Nobody saw me until the next day. A dumped boyfriend, a lover's spat, and Sarah disappears that evening. Hook, line, and sinker, not to mention the arm twisting, I was done for. But you've been acquitted, haven't you? At least for Sarah's murder. I've been acquitted, sure, but it was only because of a lack of evidence. In everyone's mind, I was still the murderer. So why didn't you get the hell out of town? That's exactly what I did. I spent 4 years in Vermont doing odd jobs. I was a waiter, a gas attendant, and a clerk in a grocery store. Pretty prestigious, hey? Afterwards, I came back to Oakland when my mother died, staying a week in the village. And during that time, I fell in love with Lisa. Lisa was already living here. She had a nice house on the hill near the river. And I thought that, despite everything, I could perhaps be happy again. This was, after all, my hometown, where I grew up. After struggling the way I had for those 4 years, I really wanted to settle down. The dust by then had surely settled, and I wanted to take care of my father. He was basically alone at this point, and getting up there in years. Lisa and I were married as soon as possible, and I moved in. But I quickly realized nothing had changed. From the onset, the way people stared at me, it was obvious. For them, I was still Sarah's murderer. I tried everything to find a decent job, anything really, but nobody wanted to give me a second chance. Lisa had a lot of money, which she inherited, so I stayed with her for 3 years locked in this damn house. I didn't dare venture out. The darting looks were burning a hole in my soul. And Lisa stubbornly refused to move from there. She didn't want to leave her family behind, and her mother was sick. So, I started drinking more. A lot more. I mean, excessively. That morning, on my way to the river, I left with a pack of beer and some fishing rods. No one saw me. I took special precautions to slip away unnoticed. I couldn't stomach parents clinging to their children at the sight of me, as if to protect them from a monster. At any rate, fishing had become my only refuge, my only usefulness for a while, bringing back a fresh catch for the evening meal. When I came back home, there at the house, a police perimeter had been established. And to make matters worse, I was plastered. And as far as this community was concerned, it was my second murder. So, what do you suppose? I was convicted before the proceedings even began. There you have it. Now you know everything. And you maintain that you have nothing to do with these murders? Look at me in the eyes, bud. I have nothing to lose, nothing to hide, and in a few days I'll be dead, and on the other side, I'll be judged. I'll probably be judged for being an asshole, an alcoholic, and a bad husband. But never for killing anyone, I swear that to you. In all sincerity, whether you believe me or not, I couldn't care less. But what I told you was true. And Kevin? What happened to him? You don't know? You should do your homework, Columbo. Some investigator? Just give it to me straight. What happened? After Sarah died, Kevin became extremely unstable, and his mother, totally detached by then, wasn't able to take care of him. So he was placed in the Douglas house, a place for crazies. He's still there, by the way. Moreover, it isn't very far from here. I think just off the next exit. If you want to find the culprit, go visit him. But be forewarned, with all his happy pills, 30 years of them, I'm not sure he can still put a sentence together, let alone a conversation. Your time is up, Mr. King. You have 1 minute left. It's goodbye time. Before you go, will you be here next week? Here for what? My execution. I can add you to the authorized list of people. I mean, since you're writing my story, you might as well witness my demise. It's what you wanted, right? A bestseller? A gruesome chapter will certainly help. I too be there. You're all the same, like those on the freeway who slow down to catch a glimpse of an accident. A little gore to enjoy, prior to picking up a happy meal. Maybe lish shit in my pants. Your readers might like that, getting his just deserts, or confess my guilt at the last moment. But it's not going to happen, none of it. Listen, bud, I have a favor to ask you. What?
Don't be a bastard in your book. My dad is still alive, And I have a little brother also. Your shitty book. It might start the gossip again. Rekindle old grudges. It would be better if this whole thing died with me.
Or at least give my point of view, okay? Don't make me out to be a cold-blooded serial killer. I can't promise you anything. I plan on writing the truth, and I'm not sure what it is yet. Then go fuck yourself, Mr. Writer. All I'm asking of you is just don't spit in my face. Simply do your due diligence, okay? That's all I'm asking for. I don't want to go down in history like this, like a rotten, filthy dog. It's too late for that. You'll go down in history one way or another, whether I write my book or not. I'm only after the truth, nothing more. All right, but keep this in mind, Mr. Writer. There are false truths, and there are true lies.
Forgive my rudeness, but I'm not walking you out.
The way you entered the penitentiary was far different than how you're leaving it. The heavens are now awash in this thick, dark blanket of menacing clouds. A fine mist covers the road ahead, darkening the pavement, and the delicate rain produces an almost imperceptible luster. It's smooth and slick, like a freshly waxed surfboard. Something is definitely off with his whole story. All the evidence points to Jeff. He has the motive, the opportunity, and no alibi to speak of. And yet, there's something that doesn't sit right. A missing piece that refuses to fall into place. Upon entering your driveway feeling extremely frustrated, you park the car, and you sit there, lost, in your thoughts. Suddenly, you deliver a furious blow to the steering wheel. If Jeff is truly sincere, he'll be executed for nothing, and Sarah will die. He's most certainly lying. That's what convicts do. But how to be sure of it? You have one final hope, one final lead. Kevin, you walk to Emily's grave. The small branches seem helpless in the cold drizzle. Nonetheless, the tree looks healthy. It's going to survive. You wipe a tear using the back of your sleeve. Tomorrow, if nothing changes, Sarah will die, and you'll have failed. A hand comes to rest on your shoulder. It's Scott, offering you a benevolent gaze. His green poncho catches your attention, an appendage from his law enforcement days. You shouldn't be out here, my friend. It's really cold and you're soaked. You still look like crap, by the way. Come on, let's get you warmed up. I'll make us a good cup of joe. Scott leads you to your home and opens the door, as though he lived there himself. You hobble along as he holds the door open. He then heads straight for the kitchen, turning a burner on.
Put a small log in the fireplace, Jacob. It's like an igloo in your house.
So, partner, how did prison go? Jeff swears he's innocent. I hope you didn't fall for his bullshit. He's nothing but a smart-ass, a venom-spewing smart-ass. I don't know. Maybe we should talk about this later. I'm a little confused, and I have a terrible headache. You might have a concussion. Didn't I tell you to go see a doctor? What's the matter with you? All right, I'll go soon, I promise. In the meantime, do you have any news about the talkie? Again with that talkie. Is this an obsession with you? Anyway, yes, already repaired a bad connection, but I found another burnt circuit in the wiring. I think I can patch it up by tomorrow morning. 1 or 2 small welds and it will be functional. At least I hope so. Any chance you can fix it by tonight? Bloody hell. You're tenacious, I'll say that much for you. But I wouldn't bite the hand that feeds you or fixes things. Remember, I'm doing this as a favor. I'm 84 and I'm patching up your toys for fuck's sake. Scott pours you a cup of coffee, grumbling under his breath. Your migraine hasn't relented. I added a little sugar, the way you like it. But be careful, it's hot. You sparsely take a sip. Behind the bitter undertones was another side to the cranky old sheriff. What could be construed as sheer grumpiness was, for the most part, more bark than bite. Perhaps the loss of your respective wives was forging some kind of strange bond, a bond you hadn't anticipated. Jacob, you're a genuine pain in the butt, but let me see what I can do. Thank you. Else, very important. Okay, I get it. You need a 30-year-old useless walkie-talkie, and you need it now. Makes perfect sense. Scott gets up and looks at you exasperated. Jacob, I'll do my best. I'll call you later on, and I hope to get more details from you. Thank you. I don't need your thanks, my friend. Your gratitude warms my heart, but it's a fucking explanation that I need. This whole setup stinks, like a whorehouse in the dead of summer. So, I'll expect an explanation at some point, preferably tomorrow, okay? Okay. You trouble me, my friend. Scott opens the door to the porch, stepping outside.
Oh well, it's sunny now. I've never seen a fucking season like this.
Scott's departure causes you to ponder, time ticking away. It is 4 o'clock. You make a call to the Douglas home. By claiming to be a distant member of the family just passing through, it works. You get an appointment with Kevin for tomorrow at 6:3 p.m. You wait nervously. A gentle, soft golden light shines through the blinds, and the sun, moving closer towards the west, is inexorably approaching the top of the mountains. The evening dawn is now shimmering in the distance, the darkness beginning to settle, and the sheriff didn't return. You open the window a little wider. Suddenly, a flock of birds catches your eye, moving swiftly, and time is running thin. Turning towards the kitchen is when you hear footsteps approaching, the sound getting stronger. You lean out the window to get a better look. Scott's ominous shadow reaches all the way across the lawn, and there he is, talkie in hand. It's getting late. The deadline coming fast. It's almost 7:30 p.m. You open the door even before Scott has a chance to knock.
In a hurry, neighbor.
Scott hands you the talkie. Thanks, Scott. 1,000 times over. Now I wish that. You slam the door shut, which leaves Scott totally bewildered. Moments later, you hear him murmuring profanities as he departs. You test the device by pressing the switch feverishly. You notice black insulating tape holding the batteries in place, and a sense of relief comes when you see the red light come on. Sarah, you there?
Jacob, I thought it was over.
We have very little time. I visited with Jeff at Ethanmore Prison. He swears he's innocent. I was certain of it. He could never hurt me. He remains the main suspect. I found your note in the attic, the postscript part. It stuck with me. You want to believe he's innocent, but inmates on death row would say anything to change their fate. You have to remember that. Jacob, believe me. He's innocent. He says the murderer is Kevin. Really? Kevin! It's ridiculous! Be careful, Sarah. I beseech you, tomorrow, I'll be going to the Douglas home to see your brother. You mean Kevin is still alive? Yeah, I'll try to find out what he knows. You don't have to do this, Jacob. He has nothing to do with it. You've already done enough, and my mom. Do you know if she's... well, is she okay? Your mother passed away a few years after your death. I'm so sorry, Sarah. It was a heart attack. So, Kevin's the last of the Williams. Who would have thought? Communication will be interrupted at any minute. Be careful, Sarah. We're running short on time. I'll talk with you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jacob.
Tomorrow you see Kevin. Ask him how Kevinosaurus is doing. How, who, what? Sarah? Communication is interrupted. Tomorrow represents the end of the line, the terminus where the journey concludes, where anything is possible. You feel the weight of it, your emotions getting the best of you. And you're playing according to rules that, in all honesty, you can't fully get your arms around. You remain immersed in the serenity of the moment, a soothing place. And you briefly enjoy a moment of solace, something you haven't felt for a long, long time. Nighttime slowly engulfs the entire countryside, and the moon rises gently above the mountains, as if piercing the heavens, a deep wonder on a layer of ebony velvet. The effects of fatigue and the morphine begin to coalesce, and the pain slowly subsides. Perhaps the inferno within is softening, maybe for a while, though the consuming embers are still lurking beneath the ashes. Walking towards the window, you notice a faint reflection. A ghost-like radiance illuminates Emily's resting place. It's real, there in those spaces where this world ends and another begins. There in the moonlight, as though being led to a place from afar, you follow the calling, and it draws you there, to the tree in the yard. The woods are ardent with a comforting aroma, the earthiness of nature. A fine mist remains motionless as it caresses the soil beneath it, like a cloud suspended between this side of paradise, between heaven and earth. A shadow appears at the edge of the woodlands, emerging from the moonbeams. The silhouette advances towards you, gliding ever so gently, and you perceive the likeness of a human form. You're not afraid. It's her. As the distance fades between this world and the next, your hearts beat in unison. She reaches out and tenderly cups your face and kisses you madly. Long, hard kisses one after the other, again and again. You can smell her, taste her, feel the warmth of her soft lips pressing against yours. Wisps of her graceful hair tickle your neck, her nose rubbing against yours. Eskimo kisses written in time. Time is standing still. She slowly frees her lips from yours, gazing at you intently. Your voice tightens, the tears falling in unison. But how, my love? There in her eyes, like a river heading out to sea. The melancholy was a reservoir that no ocean could ever fill, and you stay in the moment, and you didn't want it to end.
You have to do it, Jake.
Then we'll be together. Tell me, please, what do one have to do? I love you. Emily suddenly disappears as though carried away by the wind, dispersing into the night. Don't go, Emmy. Please, I need you. Don't go. End of day 4.